This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, the Coronet Peak Ski Field has opened for the 2020 season, delighting the crowds in the first days. Glenorchy is hoping to become a tourist haven, offering many attractions to all comers. And a southern taxidermist says COVID-19 has seriously affected his business due to border restrictions. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Daryl Baser. Coronet Peak Ski Field near Queenstown has reopened to the public. However, ski field owners are predicting the closed border will create a much quieter season than usual.
Arrowtown man David Furness gets sprayed with champagne before he rides the first chair up Coronet Peak. Skifield manager Nigel Kerr says the mood when the field opened this Friday was vastly different to when the COVID-19 crisis first began, and it was uncertain if there'd even be a ski season.
There's always that excitement first day, but there's an awful lot of relief. Relief from the staff, they've all got jobs, relief from all the people in Queenstown and Wanaka that they can ski and board, and that winter's actually come, because there's no doubt about it. There was a definite March, April, well maybe we won't have a winter.
Most years domestic visitors account for about 50% of the field's business, so this season is likely to be a quiet one.
There's going to be more space on the hills than we're used to in recent years, and I think a lot of families are talking about skiing more, and it's because it's more fun. There's going to be just a nicer pace of life.
And as for tourists from Australia in time for this year's ski season, that's now looking more unlikely.
Yeah, look, it's not in our planning. If we get it, fantastic, but we're realistic about that. We think that we're going to be looking at a slightly stimulated domestic market, because of course domestic people can't go up to the island or to the Gold Coast, and Queenstown's just a fabulous place to come for a family holiday.
In terms of the borders opening, I think you need to ask that lady in charge of the country, not me.
In Queenstown, the South Today.
Matilda fire crews were expecting to be at a 4th Street property for quite some time after it became engulfed in flames early this morning. Matilda Chief Fire Officer Neil Rogan says 2 fire crews from Matilda were called to the scene about 4 a.m. and found the house was well involved with fire. 2 further crews were called from Gore to assist and were still attending to hotspots by mid-morning. A neighbour raised the alarm as the house was unoccupied at the time it caught fire. The fire is not being treated as suspicious, but it's not yet known what's caused the blaze. The tourist destination of Glenorchy, near Queenstown, is gearing up to cater for local tourists. While accommodation and horse trekking may be affordable for the average New Zealander, champagne helicopter charters might not be in everyone's price range.
Once a popular location for overseas film crews, the stunning vistas of Glenorchy at the top of Lake Wakatipu are now a destination for New Zealand tourists to enjoy. High Country Horses owner Dina Insel says she's already noticing how Kiwis are going out of their way to support local tourism.
You know, New Zealanders, if there's something that's wounded or needs help, everyone else just comes around you. And what I've found is that it's not just here domestically or in our little region, it's actually over the whole New Zealand. I've never met so many North Islanders, I don't think, than what I have in the last couple of weeks. So just keep on rocking down here. It's a beautiful place to be, and it's one of the most stunning in New Zealand.
Bold Peak Lodge owner Carl Green says his business has been hit hard by the lack of overseas tourists, but the cafes received a lot of support from locals, and he's now feeling positive that New Zealand tourists will be on the increase.
There's lots to do in towns like Glenorchy that people haven't been to before. There's lots of options for walking, hiking, helicopter rides, horse riding, fishing, golf, tennis, and I think once people come to these smaller towns they realise there is lots to do and it's actually quite affordable to do them. So I'm quite positive that we're going to get through this, and it's going to be good.
However, some tourist experiences, such as champagne helicopter trips which catered for millionaires from overseas, say they're unlikely to get much traction with a typical Kiwi budget.
We probably need government support until those borders open, like most in the tourism industry. We are relying on our commercial arm, but that is a small part of sustaining who we are. So ultimately we'll be looking at staff cuts, to try and keep operating.
And even mid-budget accommodation such as Bold Peak Lodge will have to cut its prices to become affordable for the average New Zealander.
Making our menu items a lot cheaper, making our accommodation more affordable for Kiwis, and really putting emphasis on us for customer service, so really making sure every customer that comes in, no matter where they're from, they're getting looked after to the best that we can, so they have a good experience. Because every dollar at the moment is important and people's money's a bit tight, so if we want them to come here, if they are spending it, we want to make sure they're getting the best experience they can.
In Glenorchy, the South Today.
A report being presented to the Dunedin City Council shows the trial closure of the Octagon earlier this year was marred by a global pandemic, a lack of consultation and a budget blowout. The report says closing the Octagon to cars was initially unpopular and could have hurt businesses. The project had a budgeted price tag of around $150,000, which eventually blew out to more than double, at almost $380,000. Statistics were marred by the start of the COVID-19 crisis, but they indicate a fall in spending of around 40% in the Octagon over March. Several councillors have used the report to criticise the trial closure. Mayor Aaron Hawkins says there were no real surprises in the report, but maintains there is value in trialling ideas. A South Canterbury business has seen a major part of their income slashed due to the COVID-19 border restrictions. In a good year, Pleasant Point's O'Rourke taxidermist receives more than 180 consignments from international hunters, but says this year's numbers are significantly lower.
Usually, this South Canterbury taxidermist is flat out, filling hundreds of orders for international hunters. But the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic means it's all but down to a trickle. O'Rourke taxidermists have been operating at a Pleasant Point for more than 60 years, but owner Rob Morrison says this year might be the hardest yet.
A typical year we'd do anywhere between 150 and 200 international consignments because flights were turned off really 3 weeks into a 5-month hunting season. This year we'd done less than 20.
With the borders closed and international air travel all but non-existent, Morrison says there's still a lot of uncertainty about the future of his business. And he's not sure if things will get better anytime soon.
I would go as far to say I'm not confident that it will open up next year for the international hunters to come in, nor am I confident necessarily about even the following year.
Even if the borders were open and overseas hunters were allowed back into New Zealand, Morrison says the logistics mean it's unlikely many would take up that opportunity.
If international hunters are to come in, spend 14 days in isolation, do a 6-day hunt, go back to wherever they're from, it just doesn't work.
Because revenue has been so badly affected, Morrison says he's had to let staff go and is unlikely to be able to support community events like he had in the past.
So it's certainly had a huge impact on the hunting industry and the taxidermy industry in much the same way as it's impacted the whole tourism industry.
There is still no timeline for when international visitors may be able to return to New Zealand. In Timaru, the South Today.
And still to come on the South Today, a report shows an increase in the number of people attending Dunedin's Masters Games, and Central Otago club football fans are in for a real treat. See you after the break.
Hi, Lindsay Campbell. We're back in Invercargill again. We're here for a month. We've got a men's fashion clearance at up to 70% off. We're right beside the Motorcycle Mecca. Check them out too. Jackets, lovely knitwear, scarves, hats, you name it, we'll keep you warm. Come and see us at the Menswear Fashion Clearance pop-up.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
That's the Alex Campbell Menswear pop-up store in Invercargill.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz. Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر.
No mai no, welcome back. The number of people attending this February's New Zealand Masters Games in Dunedin increased from the previous event in 2018. Almost 300 more people took part than in 2 years ago, but the numbers are still shy of the forecast 500,000 participants. As a result, this year's Games lost money. The annual event alternates between Whanganui and Dunedin. Overall, the event remains in the black, meaning organisers will not need to ask the Dunedin City Council to underwrite the event when it returns in 2022. Dunedin residents made up almost half of all participants, while Cantabrians make up the biggest share of visiting athletes. Australians make up 3% of total participants and are the largest group from overseas. Water quality from the mountains to the sea is now at the heart of a new community catchment plan in Wanaka. The plan has been completed by Wai Wanaka, the new name for the Upper Clutha Lakes Trust.
A new community catchment plan by Wai Wanaka aims to safeguard water quality. Project manager Megan Williams said the plan had been developed with the contribution of many people.
In that group we had rural communities, we had farmers, we had businesses from urban areas, we had scientists, we had regulatory bodies, so QLDC and ORC were involved in that, and we had community members from different groups that have been working on different aspects of the environment for a long time. So it was fantastic to get everybody agreeing on the same thing.
For some, the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown had been a chance to re-evaluate the importance of the environment.
We're in a new reality, and I think around this area we've had a lot of people interested in doing environmental work already, but I think the lockdown and what we've been through has really shown people how much they value our environment and our natural systems. So I think there is a greater interest in environmental work and retaining what we have. And I also think we're very lucky that this government has put a lot of funding towards environmental work, so over $1 billion. So we're well placed as a very organised trust, the Upper Clutha Lakes Trust Board, which is now known as Waiwanaka, to help get some jobs in the area of nature. So we have put in some applications in a couple of different ways. So we wait eagerly to hear about whether we can employ more people to do the work that we'd love to see done.
In Wanaka, the South Today.
Football team, the Queenstown Rovers, were too strong for visiting Dunedin Northern side over the weekend. Scoring 6 goals in each half, the home team beat the Dunedin visitors 12-0.
This weekend's Southern Premier Club League match in Queenstown saw Dunedin's Northern, seen here in orange and black, no match for the Queenstown Rovers. The Rovers won 12-0, but their manager thought they could have done even better.
6 goals in each half, that tells its own story, I think, but at half time we wasn't that impressed with our lot. We was happy with the goals, but we was, in our mind, poor out of possession, so we changed that second half, much better second half from us, so we're happy.
Whitmarsh says keeping a clean sheet, meaning his team did not let the opposition score any goals, gave the Rovers a chance to get some points in their first home game of the season.
I think if you keep a clean sheet with the line-up that we've got and the players that we've got, we're liable to score, and that was evident today, so I think every time we keep a clean sheet we're probably going to win games.
The team were also able to give some time on the field for one of their players who's shortly due to leave town.
When you win a game like that, everybody has to contribute, so I was just really pleased for our reserve goalkeeper Gabriel. We was able to give him some game time. He leaves next week to go on his journey to Gisborne, so we wish him well.
In Queenstown, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, schoolboy rugby makes a return to Dunedin, and we have a look at the weather with snow on the way. See you soon.
Hi, Lindsay Campbell. We're back in Invercargill again. We're here for a month. We've got a men's fashion clearance and up to 70% off. We're right beside the motorcycle Mecca. Check them out too. Jackets, lovely knitwear, scarves, hats, you name it, we'll keep you warm. Come and see us at the menswear fashion clearance pop-up.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
That's the Alex Campbell Menswear pop-up store in Invercargill.
Oh mate, I'm thinking about getting a new ute.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance fairs. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Welcome back. Two Dunedin schoolboy rugby teams faced off over the weekend. Kings High School powered its way to an historic 28-16 victory over Otago Boys High School on Saturday. The result shows Kings have the ability to go all the way in the Otago Premier Schools competition this season. The teams were practically neck and neck at the end of the first half. Then Kings dominated territory in the second half to become comfortable winners at full time. Kings last beat Otago Boys High School in 2007. The two sides are set to meet again in the traditional inter-school match in the third term. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Corrant Peak ski field has opened for the 2020 season, delighting the crowds in the first few days who enjoyed fine powder on opening day. Glenorchy is hoping to become a tourist haven, offering many attractions to all comers wanting to experience their part of the beautiful South. A southern taxidermist says the COVID-19 has seriously knocked the stuffing out of his business due to border restrictions. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome Dunedin's most avid Liverpool fan and editorial executive, Hayden Meikle. G'day.
Good evening, Daryl. Thank you for that introduction.
One tries.
But no, I'm not going to sing You'll Never Walk Alone. We'll leave that till later, eh?
Most definitely, yep.
So tomorrow, well, obviously a very harrowing story and a harrowing day down in Invercargill Court today. The Otautau teenager jailed for life for killing the 9-year-old boy that he was babysitting. So we'll have all the latest victim impact statements and reaction from the town. Obviously it was a crime that really shook the small place. Really tough day, and I think everybody's thoughts with the family of the 9-year-old today. A really difficult day.
Yeah, indeed.
Other bits and pieces, we've got some DCC stuff, the price of parking, the price of swimming, and I think the price of buying a burial plot in Dunedin are all about to get hiked, so we'll have all the latest details of that. I think parking fees are back Wednesday this week, I think, Daryl. It's been quite nice having free parking, but we'll soon be paying a little bit more for that, so we'll have a wrap of that. Got an interesting yarn on some Auckland blokes who swung through Dunedin today. They're on a golfing tour of New Zealand, which is nothing out of the ordinary, but this is a slightly unusual one. It's a mini golfing tour, so they are aiming to play, I think, 86 mini golf courses in New Zealand that have reopened after the lockdown. So we caught up with them out at our Walls Platland mini golf out in Moskiel. Interesting story, slightly unusual story down in Balclutha. Some serious shenanigans going on with a couple of rugby teams and associates, and a bit of an assault down there, which actually has led to the Licensing Trust closing pubs earlier. So pretty serious story, but a pretty interesting story for that community. And a lovely photo and a story of a sniffer dog, Frida, the cancer sniffer dog, visiting Columba College in Dunedin today. And a really nice yarn about that program, and I think the school might have raised some sort of funds for that. So all that and all sorts of other little bits and pieces should be an interesting paper.
A cracking read. Thanks, Hayden. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, a magnificent rainbow appeared briefly over Dunedin's CBD this afternoon. Looking at the situation, a very cold southerly airflow brings wintry showers to the region tomorrow and Wednesday, with snow lowering to 200 metres around Otago and possibly lower in Southland. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at mostly clear skies and 12 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a cloudy day and 12 degrees. Heading down to Canterbury, it'll be cloudy with showers for most places here. Kaikoura heads for 8 degrees, the same for Christchurch, and Ashburton is set to go one more on 9 degrees. To the southern towns, plan for strong southwesterlies and snow showers across this region. The Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are all aiming for just 4 degrees as a high temperature. Heading to central Otago, you can expect gusty southwesterlies and snow showers for all areas here as well. It'll be cold, Wanaka heads for 4, Queenstown should reach 3, and Alexandra and Te Anau are both aiming for 5 degrees. Going up to the northern towns, on the coast at Timaru and Oamaru can expect fresh southwesterlies and showers with 8 in Timaru and 7 for Oamaru. Inland, those in Twizel and Omarama can both plan for gusty southerlies and snow showers with 4 degrees for you both. In Dunedin, there'll be showers tonight with gusty southwesterlies and an overnight low of 4 degrees. It'll be cold tomorrow with fresh gusty southwest winds and light showers at times. A period of more persistent rain is expected in the afternoon with snow low to 300 metres on the hills, a high of 7 and a low of 4 degrees. Strong gusty southwesterlies on Wednesday with wintry showers and some hail and sleet likely. Snow rose to 200 metres with a high of 6 and a low of 3. And heading to Invercargill, expect showers tonight with an overnight low of 4 degrees. It'll be mostly cloudy with frequent showers tomorrow and some hail and sleet likely. Expect a high of 6 and a low of 3. Wintry showers slowly easing on Wednesday with a few snow flurries possible in the morning. A high of 6 and a low of 2 degrees. Winter is definitely here. And that's all from the South Today team for this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.